Your body is whispering warnings through your nails, your breath, your skin, even your sleep. But most people ignore them. By the time they pay attention, the damage is done. Kidney failure doesn't begin with a hospital bed. It starts with tiny clues most never notice. Right now, nearly 9 out of 10 people living with kidney damage have no idea it's happening. Why? Because the early signs are subtle, strange, and scattered. Harm. So, let's decode these early signals before your body makes you listen the hard way. Behind your ribs, tucked into your lower back, are 2 bean-shaped powerhouses quietly doing the work of a full-scale chemical plant. These organs don't just eliminate waste. They manage blood pressure, regulate minerals, balance pH, activate vitamin D, and produce hormones that signal red blood cell creation. When they're under stress, they don't scream, they whisper. And those whispers often begin in the most unexpected places. Let's start with one of the first clues. People tend to ignore unusual changes in urine. A frothy, persistent layer. A foam in the toilet bowl, especially if it looks thick and white like beer head, can mean that proteins are leaking through your filtration system. This occurs when the internal kidney filters, tiny clusters of blood vessels known as glomeruli, become damaged. These microscopic sieves are lined with fine cellular projections that normally block, but when these structures flatten or fray due to inflammation or toxicity, protein slips through, creating that thick foam. Now, why does that matter? Albumin is not just any protein. It maintains fluid balance in your bloodstream. When it leaks out, the osmotic pressure inside your vessels drops and fluid starts moving into soft tissue. This leads to swelling, particularly in the feet, ankles, and eyelids. If an indentation remains, you may be experiencing something called pycnodema, key clue that your circulatory system is losing albumin, and your kidneys are the culprit. This creates a dangerous loop. Your kidneys sense the low fluid volume in your vessels and try to retain more water and salt, which just worsens the swelling. If you're getting up several times to relieve yourself, that's called nocturia. Most people think peeing more means your kidneys are healthy, but the truth is, the quality of urine matters more than quantity. When your kidneys can no longer concentrate urine often due to early functional decline, you end up making large volumes of dilute urine. That's why people with declining kidney function often feel like their bladder is running on overdrive. After sundown, then there's something strange but telling: your nails. Healthy nails usually show a clear lunula, that half-moon shape at the base, but people with chronic renal issues may develop what's known as half-and-half nails. The top half appears dark, reddish, or brown, while the bottom stays pale or white. It's not a cosmetic issue, it's an outward expression of systemic imbalance. While we don't fully understand the mechanism, these visual changes are strongly correlated with advanced kidney disease. It's your body's way of painting a warning sign right onto your hands. Another warning comes from your skin. And it's not always obvious. Itchy skin, especially when there's no rash or allergy, can be an early marker of waste buildup. When kidneys start failing, uremic toxins begin to collect in the bloodstream. Some of these toxins irritate nerve endings or activate itch receptors. Others accumulate in the skin itself, a deep, generalized itch that no cream can fix, often worse at night and resistant to normal remedies. In more advanced stages, those toxins can even exit through your sweat glands. When that happens, your skin may appear to be dusted with fine white powder. This is called uremic frost, and though it's rare, it's a dramatic and dangerous sign of complete kidney shutdown. Think of it as your body's last-ditch effort to throw waste out when the internal plumbing no longer works. Muscle cramps are another subtle signal. Most people associate them with dehydration or overexercising, but recurring cramps, especially in your calves at night, can indicate electrolyte imbalances caused by impaired kidney filtering. Low calcium, magnesium, or even a buildup of acidity can make muscles misfire, twist, and contract without warning. There's also a deeply unsettling sign. People rarely connect to renal problems, a metallic taste in the mouth as your kidneys fail. Saliva. Oral bacteria then break it down into ammonia and other compounds, which trigger bitter, chemical-like flavors. And worse, this same phenomenon can affect your breath, giving it a urine-like smell, known medically as uremic fever. This leads us to another deeply overlooked indicator: loss of appetite. Your body contains a specialized brain region called the chemoreceptor. Triggers zone it scans for toxins and feel nauseated, uninterested in food, and even experience vomiting. Over time, this can lead to unintentional weight loss, which isn't just physical, it's a sign your system is actively rejecting nourishment. Sometimes, that overwhelming urge to move them, especially when resting at night. As toxins increase, they trigger inflammation that hijacks your brain's iron processing system. This leads to low dopamine levels and uncontrollable movement impulses that can destroy your ability to rest. Iron metabolism disruption is complex, but the symptoms are very real. Lastly, a darker sign: easy bruising. When your kidneys can't filter properly, uremic toxins interfere with your blood's ability to clot. You may notice larger bruises, frequent nosebleeds, or bleeding gums. Even minor trauma can leave vivid discolorations across your skin. And this isn't just cosmetic, it's evidence that your internal regulation is failing at a cellular level. Now ask yourself, if even half of these signs were showing up, would you notice? Or would you dismiss them as aging, fatigue, or a rough week? The truth is, your body never lies. It signals problems long before catastrophe strikes. And in the case of kidney disease, those signals start with foam, fatigue. They're often your body's quiet SOS signals that shouldn't be ignored. Let's explore one of the most overlooked signs: restless leg syndrome, RLS. If you've ever felt a creeping, tingling, or burning sensation in your legs at night, especially one that makes you constantly shift or move them to find relief, you're not imagining it. RLS is more than a nuisance. Here's why. When your kidneys begin to fail, they're unable to filter out toxins effectively. These uremic toxins circulate in your bloodstream and can trigger a chain reaction. They increase inflammation and stimulate the production of a hormone called HEP-CID-IN. Now, here's the twist. Hepcidin's job is to block iron from being absorbed and released throughout your body. It's designed to protect you during infections, since bacteria thrive on iron. But in people with kidney disease, your brain ends up low on iron, and that disrupts dopamine signaling, leading to that intense, irresistible urge to move your legs, especially when you're trying to rest. And it doesn't stop there. As these toxins continue to build, they can begin affecting your sense of taste, another sign that might surprise you. Many people with declining kidney function develop a metallic taste in their mouth, especially when eating or drinking. Imagine biting into your favorite food only to have it taste like you've licked a piece of rusty metal. This change in taste is due to a buildup of urea, a waste product that seeps into your saliva. Oral bacteria then break it down into ammonia and other compounds, creating that strange taste and, in some cases, a breath odor that smells like urine. This is known as uremic, FETOR. With everything tasting off and your breath smelling unpleasant, it's no wonder that many people with kidney disease begin to lose their appetite. But here's what's really happening behind the scenes. Your brain's chemoreceptor trigger zone an area, specifically designed to detect toxins, gets activated. It's not protected by the blood-brain barrier, so when uremic toxins reach it, your brain immediately interprets the presence of these toxins as a threat, like food poisoning. It sends signals to shut down hunger and sometimes even provoke nausea and vomiting. This leads to unintentional weight loss, malnutrition, and extreme fatigue. Fatigue, by the way, is more than just feeling tired. It's a bone-deep exhaustion that doesn't go away with rest. Even simple tasks like walking a flight of stairs can feel like climbing a mountain. And it's not just the result of poor sleep or appetite. Your kidneys also produce a hormone called erythropoietin, EPO. This hormone tells your bone marrow to create red blood cells, which carry oxygen throughout your body. As kidney function declines, EPO production drops. Fewer red blood cells mean less oxygen is delivered to your tissues. The result is anemia, a leading cause of fatigue in kidney disease. Now imagine this. Your skin starts bruising easily, large dark patches, appearing after the slightest bump or even for no clear reason at all. This isn't clumsiness. It's another warning sign. When kidneys are failing, uremic toxins disrupt your platelets, the blood components that help with clotting. These platelets become less sticky, meaning they don't seal injuries as well. This can lead to frequent nosebleeds, bleeding gums, or large, unexplained bruises. It's your blood's way of saying, something isn't working right. And if left untreated, things can escalate to a rare but dramatic condition called uremic frost. This occurs when urea levels in the body are so high that it begins to seep out through your sweat. When the sweat dries, it leaves behind a fine white powder tiny crystals of urea on the skin. Uremic frost is a visible, tangible sign that kidney failure has reached a severe stage. It's alarming, but also a final call for immediate intervention. Equally serious, but invisible to the naked eye, is pericarditis, the inflammation of the pericardium. The protective sac around your heart. When uremic toxins flood the body, they can inflame the pericardial tissue. The result? Painful pressure in the chest, difficulty breathing, and in some cases, fluid buildup around the heart. If you were to listen through a stethoscope, you might hear a telltale, scratchy rubbing sound, like leather brushing against itself. That's your heart, struggling to beat while surrounded by irritated tissue. These aren't just separate symptoms. They are a pattern, a cascade of red flags that, when viewed together, paint a clear picture of kidneys in crisis. But here's the cruel trick of chronic kidney disease. Sometimes there are no symptoms at all. Many people walk around with stage 1 or stage 2 kidney disease without feeling a thing. No pain, no fatigue, no swelling, nothing. It's not until they reach stage 3 or beyond, when damage is harder to reverse, that they realize something is wrong. This is why routine blood work and urine analysis are so crucial, especially for people with risk factors like diabetes, high blood pressure, or a family history of kidney problems. Even more surprising, some cases are caused by things we assume are harmless, like over-the-counter painkillers. Drugs like ibuprofen and naproxen may seem like a quick fix for headaches or sore muscles, but when taken regularly over time, they can silently impair kidney function. These medications reduce blood flow to the kidneys and increase pressure inside the filtering units, eventually leading to long-term damage. So if you're using them frequently for chronic pain or inflammation, it's worth talking to your doctor about safer alternatives and checking your kidney health markers, especially eGFR, estimated glomerular filtration rate, and creatinine levels. The takeaway? Your kidneys don't wait for you to listen. When they struggle, your body sends hints, scattered and easy to overlook. But now that you know what to look for, you have the power to act early. Whether it's a foamy toilet bowl, swollen ankles, itchy skin, or simply needing to pee too often at night, these signs deserve your attention. Because kidney disease doesn't shout, it whispers. And catching that whisper early could be the difference between managing a reversible condition and facing a lifelong struggle. Now that you know how your body tries to signal kidney trouble, it's time to understand what causes this damage in the first place. Because if you can identify the triggers early, you may be able to slow down or even stop the progression of kidney disease. Let's begin with two of the biggest culprits: diabetes and high blood pressure. These conditions are so common that people often underestimate how destructive they can be, especially when left uncontrolled. Your kidneys contain tiny filtering units called nephrons, and each nephron has a microscopic cluster of blood vessels, the glomerulus, that filters waste. When your blood sugar is consistently high, as in diabetes, it damages the walls of these vessels, making them leaky and inefficient over time. This leads to diabetic nephropathy, a condition where your kidneys gradually lose their filtering ability. You may not feel any different at first, but silently, damage accumulates until the symptoms hit hard. High blood pressure works in a different but equally dangerous way. Imagine trying to water delicate flowers using a fire hose. That's what high pressure does to your kidneys. It weakens and scars the arteries supplying the kidneys, reducing their ability to function. And ironically, damaged kidneys can worsen high blood pressure, creating a vicious cycle that spirals out of control, unless treated, but those aren't the only offenders. Another sneaky cause of kidney trouble is the long-term use of painkillers, especially non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, or NSAIDs, like ibuprofen and naproxen. These medications constrict blood flow to the kidneys and reduce their ability to self-regulate. In small doses and for short periods, they're generally safe. But if you're taking them frequently, say for arthritis, back pain, or headaches, can slowly chip away at your kidney function without you even noticing. What makes NSAIDs particularly dangerous is how easily they're accessible. No prescription required. No obvious warnings. Yet regular use over months or years can quietly push you into chronic kidney damage. Then there's the issue of dehydration, a problem more common than we realize. Many people go through their day barely drinking enough water, coffee, tea, soda. These may quench your thirst, but they don't hydrate like water does. Your kidneys need enough fluid to properly flush out toxins. Without it, the waste becomes concentrated and harder to filter. Long-term dehydration can cause the formation of kidney stones, which not only hurt, but also increase the risk of infection and chronic damage. Let's not forget infections themselves. A urinary tract infection, UTI, that isn't treated properly can travel up the ureters and infect the kidneys, leading to pyelonephritis. Repeated or untreated kidney infections can permanently scar the renal tissue. That's why any persistent back pain, fever, or pain during urination should never be ignored. It could be more than just a bladder issue. Environmental toxins and lifestyle choices also play a role. People exposed to heavy metals like lead, cadmium, or mercury, whether through contaminated water, old pipes, or certain industrial jobs, are at increased risk. These metals accumulate in kidney tissue and gradually impair function. Even something as basic as a high-protein diet, popular in weight loss circles and among fitness enthusiasts, can put stress on the kidneys. While protein is essential for health, excessive intake forces the kidneys to work overtime, filtering nitrogen waste products. In healthy people, this isn't usually a problem, but in those with underlying kidney issues, or even those genetically predisposed, it can accelerate damage. Herbal supplements are another unexpected risk. Many natural remedies claim to cleanse or support kidney health, but not all of them are tested or regulated. Some contain aristolochic acid, a compound found in certain herbs that's highly toxic to kidneys. Others might have heavy metals or contaminants that make their way into your bloodstream and settle in your renal tissue. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's safe, especially for your kidneys. Then there's sleep or the lack of it. It might surprise you to learn that chronic sleep deprivation can harm your kidneys. During sleep, your body performs a variety of repair functions, including hormone regulation. Poor sleep disrupts this cycle, raises blood pressure, and impairs glucose metabolism, all factors that can wear down your kidney function over time. In fact, studies have shown that people who sleep fewer than 6 hours a night consistently are at greater risk for kidney disease. Let's talk about obesity. 2. Being overweight increases your risk for both diabetes and high blood pressure too. Of the leading causes of kidney damage, but excess fat, especially visceral fat around the organs, also produces inflammatory chemicals that directly harm kidney cells. That's why even moderate weight loss can improve kidney function and slow disease progression. Stress is another underrated factor. Chronic stress raises cortisol levels, spikes blood pressure, and affects how your body processes sugar. All of these mechanisms over time can damage your kidneys, and unfortunately, kidney damage itself can worsen mental health, causing fatigue, depression, and cognitive decline. It's a two-way street that needs attention on both sides. Another little-known contributor, conditions like polycystic kidney disease, PKD, cause fluid-filled cysts to form on the kidneys, gradually enlarging them and impairing their function. Other inherited conditions might not be as obvious, but can make the kidneys more vulnerable to common triggers. Even aging plays a part. After age 40, your glomerular filtration rate, GFR, slowly declines. That doesn't mean everyone will develop kidney disease, but it does mean older adults need to be more mindful of their lifestyle, hydration, and medication habits. And finally, blood work that hides early kidney damage. Many people assume if their creatinine levels are within range, their kidneys must be fine. But that's not always the case. Creatinine levels can stay normal for a long time, even as your kidneys are quietly declining. That's why doctors use a calculated value called the eGFR, estimated glomerular filtration rate, to get a more accurate picture. If that number is below 64, 3 months or more, it may indicate chronic kidney disease. If creatinine looks okay. This is also why urine testing is essential. A urine albumin to creatinine ratio, UACR, can reveal if proteins are leaking into your urina, key early sign of kidney damage. Catching it at this stage can make all the difference. Because here's the truth, kidney disease is preventable, manageable, and in many cases reversible, but only if it's caught early. The tragedy is that most people don't know theirs. A problem until half the damage is already done. So what can you do? Monitor your blood pressure regularly, even at home if you have diabetes. Keep your blood sugar tightly controlled. Limit NSAID use unless prescribed. Stay hydrated, but don't overdo it either. Eat a balanced, kidney-friendly diet rich in vegetables, low in sodium, moderate in protein. Avoid smoking and limit alcohol. And most importantly, don't regenerate like your skin or liver. When they're damaged, that damage often becomes permanent. But early detection, smart lifestyle choices, and good medical care can keep them working well into your later years. Think of your kidneys as master conductors coordinating the chemistry of life, adjusting every signal, balancing every note. These aren't just filters. They're intelligent systems that quietly safeguard your survival every second of the day. So how do we defend them proactively, permanently, and personally? Start by embracing what your kidneys love most: stability. One of the simplest yet most overlooked protectors of renal well-being is nutritional rhythm. Regular meals that avoid wild swings in sugar, sodium, or processed additives help prevent metabolic stress. Instead of harsh extremes like crash diets or protein binge, moderation. Incorporate kidney-supportive ingredients like leafy greens, bell peppers, cauliflower, berries, and apples. These provide essential antioxidants without burdening your filtration system. Also crucial, mindful mineral intake. Too much phosphorus often hidden in packaged snacks, processed meats, and carbonated beverages accumulates over time and contributes to dangerous calcifications inside your blood vessels. Avoid phosphate or phosphoric acid on labels. Choose whole foods instead of chemical-laden shortcuts, and don't underestimate the importance of potassium control. While bananas and potatoes are healthy for many, people with compromised renal function must regulate potassium to prevent heart irregularities. Balance matters because imbalance is where kidney stress begins. Now, let's talk hydration discipline. The idea isn't to flood your system, but to maintain a steady, sufficient flow of clean water throughout the day, then chugging a full glass once or twice. This helps maintain blood flow and waste clearance without overwhelming the kidneys. Be cautious of excessive sugary drinks, energy beverages, or artificially sweetened options. They may seem harmless, but can tax your organs. Long-term exercise is another silent ally. Movement encourages circulation, controls blood glucose, and keeps blood pressure in check, all of which reduce kidney strain. You don't need a gym membership to benefit. A brisk walk, stretching session, or light gardening can be enough. What matters most is consistency your kidneys thrive on daily. Patterns? Sleep, too, plays a central role in detoxification. During deep rest, your body slows and shifts into repair mode. Waste products are processed more efficiently. Hormones rebalance, and inflammation calms. Skipping sleep or staying in a cycle of poor quality rest interrupts these processes. Darkness, cool temperature, no screens, and winding down with a calm ritual can dramatically improve recovery. Then there's the impact of mental pressure. Ongoing emotional stress isn't just tiring, it causes real, measurable damage. Chronic cortisol release increases blood sugar, raises heart rate, and intensifies sodium retention. Over time, this adds hidden burden to your kidneys. Whether it's breathwork, journaling, prayer, or nature walks, find your peace and revisit it daily. Let's not forget medications. Always review your pill routine with a professional. Some combinations, especially antibiotics, antacids, or diuretics, can overwork or even harm renal tissue. Of herbs, supplements that claim to detox the body often contain diuretics that may lead to dehydration and electrolyte shifts. Unless they're backed by strong science and prescribed by someone knowledgeable, they could do more harm than good. You may be wondering, what if it's already too late? It's not. Even after damage has occurred, slowing the decline is entirely possible. The goal becomes preservation. That means managing underlying conditions, optimizing diet, monitoring lab work regularly, and sticking to lifestyle changes. Many people live full, active lives with only partial kidney function because they made the right choices early enough. And if you've reached a point where dialysis or transplant is mentioned, don't see it as a defeat. These interventions exist because kidney science has progressed dramatically. People live decades on dialysis, with the right mindset, support system, and care. Many others thrive after receiving donor kidneys. What matters most is being informed, proactive, and emotionally grounded. Let's also address a reality many don't talk about. If you're watching this and feel overwhelmed, know that even small steps, drinking more water, eating home-cooked meals, walking daily are meaningful. You don't need perfection. You need momentum. Your journey might start with something simple: asking your physician for a basic metabolic panel, checking your eGFR, or requesting a urine test to measure protein leakage. These are not exotic or expensive procedures. They're frontline defenses that millions overlook until it's far too late. And here's one more often forgotten detail. Family history matters. If your parents, siblings, or grandparents struggled with kidney problems, hypertension, or diabetes, your risk is already elevated. That doesn't mean you're doomed, it means you're informed. Use that knowledge to your advantage. Start preventive habits now, not later, because kidneys don't come with alarm bells. There's no flashing red light when they're overworked, but your body sends whispers through your skin, nails, urine, energy, and appetite. And if you've listened this far, then you've already done something powerful. You've paid attention. So here's the real takeaway. You're not powerless. You're not too late, and you're not alone. The best time to support your kidneys was yesterday. The second best time. Right now, these twin organs do their job without complaint, without rest, without applause. Day in, day out, they keep you in balance, so honor them not with fear, but with action. Take that walk. Fill that glass of water. Say no to processed snacks. Sleep a little longer. Ask for that lab test. Avoid that extra tablet. Choose calm over chaos. Replace ignorance with information, because the way you treat your kidneys is the way you treat your future self, and your future self deserves everything.